What's up, everyone? It is Brendan here with What Were They Thinking, here to talk to you once again about 2 pods a day. As we've said before, January and February, every day of those 2 months, 2 pods a day is going to bring to your attention 2 indie podcasts that you may not have heard of or been able to discover on your own. But we are bringing awareness to that for you. Well, I'm not. We're just part of it. I don't want to take any credit for this. This is all someone else's venture. 2 pods a day, great campaign. Part of it. Follow it. 2 pods a day on Twitter. You can find it on Facebook. Fucking everywhere. Just do it. Listen to new podcasts. We're in there somewhere. We'll be in there at some point. But lots of great shows. I believe at the time of this recording, so this might be inaccurate, but they've done about 6 days, so about 12 podcasts. So you're going to get 60 fucking podcasts. 60 that you've never heard of. And that you should listen to. Give them a chance. Enjoy. Live your life. Anyway, yeah, thanks. Now enjoy following episode.
Ishihiro-san,
What is it, Takahashi?
I've got this great idea. I feel that our ancient culture has been slighted by this new boon with these Ninja Turtles over in America.
So slighted. Every time I go out the street, I feel more and more slighted.
Right. So what I'm thinking here is that we can get these radioactive adolescent reptile turtles with the ninjas to explore more of their ancient Japanese culture.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
So,
produced by Japan or America?
I think it could be a joint effort.
Okay.
This way we get a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. It's like a combo over at Sapporo's Fine Dining.
I love this stuff. I love it.
Oh, I
love it.
I plots for it every single time. So what I'm thinking here, Ishihiro, is that we have these adolescent ninja type reptiles travel back in time to ancient Japan, and they won't be ninjas, but more samurai.
Okay.
So it's gonna be like Shogun meets Saturday morning cartoons.
That's a great idea. Can I input one thing?
Oh, please! That's what these meetings are for.
Okay, you know how the other movie they got that Jim Henson guy, whatever his name was.
Oh yes, he's with the puppet guy there with the Kermit and the thing.
Yeah. Well, I figure with this one, we don't have to use that guy. He's expensive. We can get this other. I know this great guy. You remember Marty?
Oh yes, Marty. What was his? Marty. Oh, I can't remember. What was his name? It was Marty something. Real catchy name.
It's Skorksky. I think that's how you pronounce it.
I don't. We'll just stick with Marty.
Marty's easier, but. You remember how he did the song for us for the way back?
Right. For the what was it? The Garbage Pail Kids.
Yeah.
Right.
So what he could do is he's got this effects company. It's called All Effects, and they do all the effects.
That's a pretty handy name.
They'll do the movie for the same price, so we're not saving any money, but hey, what do you know? Whatever, we'll just not use Jim Henson. Who cares?
Oh, well, we won't have to, there'll be less branding. And I'm sure that his quality of animatronic puppets are going to be just as good.
I'd say better.
So I think if we take these animatronic puppets that with the adolescent reptile ninjas, turn them into samurai that time travel, and then release it wide to the world, that's when the money rolls in.
You know when I pick a movie, that's when I'm under pressure now. The question always comes back to me, what were they thinking now? Whoa, what were they thinking? What were they thinking?
Welcome everyone to a new episode. Actually, the first episode of 2018.
Yes, baby.
First new episode of 2018.
Acquaintance be forgot.
There you go.
Don't
No,
know
keep going.
the rest of the words.
And
all
all
acquaintance be forgot. I'm podcasting with nerds.
This is the whole episode. Just keep going. Yes, first episode of 2018. First new one. What were they thinking? I am Brendan.
I'm Nathan.
And we have a guest in the studio today.
Dame Malcolm Wallace.
Really?
Really? You said it didn't
I
matter.
know, yeah, I did. That was my mistake.
You thought we weren't going to do it, and we did.
No, I assumed you were.
Okay.
Malco's kind of our resident Ninja Turtle expert.
Yes.
One word for it.
Takahashi, is that you?
He's your hero, San. What are you doing here?
How did we get in this? How did we get in this freaking podcast?
There's just so many guests on this podcast.
Oh god, this is loaded. Oh yeah. So we are talking today about the movie that nearly killed a franchise,
Just about.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
Yeah.
Not Turtles in Time.
Oddly enough, with the collection that I have, it actually has Turtles in Time stamped on the DVD.
I think mine does too.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So is that must be like a post VHS world decision.
I guess, because, this was just, it was just Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. There was no subtitle to this at all, and the reason why it gets kind of lumped in with that Turtles in Time thing was because of the video game that came out with the same name. Mm-hmm. That was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I could be mistaken.
I want to run some numbers by you guys here just to get an idea of where we're at with this franchise, okay?
Okay.
So the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, pretty modest budget of $13 million.
Yep.
At the box office, it makes $202 million. Huge hit.
Because it was really good.
Yeah.
Huge hit. Second one, $25 million budget. So it went up quite a bit. Unfortunately, the box office was only about $78.6 million.
Okay. But it made double its budget back, so it's considered a hit.
It definitely made, it made quite a bit of money. Quality-wise, I think it's a pretty big step down from the first one.
It's a step down in regards to the, I guess the action and the grittiness of it, because if you watch that first one, it's very, very similar to the earlier Eastman Laird comics. Like, it's darker, and the second one is definitely more in line with the Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, and
I mean,
one of the things about
so much
the
so
second one...
Well, the second one, they didn't even use their weapons.
Yeah, that was a censorship thing where they basically told them you can't use the weapons hardly at all.
Yeah. That's just...
So those are the first two. The third one, now I'm not saying this was a failure because the budget was $21 million, box office $42 million.
So it made double its budget back.
That kind of
It made double its budget, but holy shit. Though that's a climb downwards from the first one. That is a
some of my money was included in that one because I paid theater money for this.
Man, it would have been $20,999,990 if it wasn't
If I
for
hadn't
you.
been there, that's right.
Damn you, Nathan.
And
Hey, I tried to help. Even my theater money couldn't help propel this thing to another sequel. Hell,
kind of happy for that.
the cartoon itself took a sharp nosedive after this one came out too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yes, I was going to say, like, we joked about at the beginning about it killing the franchise, and I mean, it kind of did for a long time, but people seemed to not realize that it still did make quite a bit of money.
Well, I mean,
now, the British
it's a
version...
Ninja Turtles movie. I mean, the friggin' thing is, it's at the time, it was a license to print money.
Yeah, exactly. It's a proven franchise. You have to really... I feel like if they had done a fourth one immediately after that one, it would have tanked hard.
You have to get Joel Schumacher involved, too, in order to really, really make a franchise take a nosedive.
Turtle nipples?
Consider the not mammalian, that would have been interesting.
Yeah.
Why doesn't Superman have a sewer?
I think I would pay good money to see that.
I would Joel Schumacher's Turtles.
Good lord.
Oof. I don't know. Turtles and Robin.
Oh.
So yeah, the thing about this too, in regards to the weapons, apparently in the British version, the original British censored PG version, they also took most of the weapons out of this movie, which makes me think, how long was it?
Yeah. Well, and the funny thing was with the with the Turtles over in England, they weren't the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles; they were the Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
Yeah, because they didn't want to. They wouldn't let them include the name Ninja. A lot of the stuff from the cartoon where they were using the weapons was heavily edited. Even in North America, when the cartoon it came out, which was like 30 years ago, this past September.
Yeah.
The Foot Clan soldiers were made into robots, so the Turtles could have something to kill without actually murdering people.
Yeah. There is actually, funny enough, there is some murder in this movie.
Yeah.
The last little thing I want to say before we jump into the movie, because there's going to be a lot to talk about. Corey Feldman is back in this movie.
Yep.
I was so happy.
Doing the voice of Donatello. Here's the thing. Apparently, the studio called him, and they felt bad for not asking him to come back for the second one, because he was right in the midst of his issues with drugs. One of the times he had issues with drugs.
Just the one,
and yeah, just one of the many times. And he said, yeah, and they said, so we want you back for the third one. And he basically said, well, I want more money to come back. And they kind of backtracked and said, yeah, but you were in rehab, so we're still only going to pay you $1,500.
Oh, wow.
He made $1,500 for this movie. Now, to be fair, I mean, it is a voice role, but that seems awfully low.
I don't feel that Corey Feldman's star was at its zenith, where he could dictate a huge payday. Consider they've already proven, hey, you can be replaced. We'll just get the guy who did the voice in the second movie to come back to have better continuity.
Hey, I was happy that Corey Feldman was back.
I was happy too. It's good to see the guy get work, but I mean, you know what? When you get too big for your britches, you got to be taken down a peg. That's just how it is.
I guess this was 93, so yeah, Feldman would have been pretty low down the totem pole by this point already.
Yeah, he would have been doing direct-to-video movies like Rock and Roll High School Forever.
Hey, it was no Corey Haim, though. Come on.
Corey Feldman, you are no Corey Haim. Oh, well, let's start this Turtles movie, folks. Japan, 1603.
Because that's what every kid wants to see when they go to the movie theater to see the Ninja Turtles, a fancy historical piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before I see the Turtles dancing around using their weapons and stuff, I want to start off in feudal Japan. So...
And did you find it odd or interesting or intriguing whatsoever that Japanese people from feudal Japan spoke clear modern English to each other?
Yeah, I never noticed that as a kid, but now I'm just thinking, how is that even possible? It makes no sense.
This is a big thing we talk about a lot on our show, because a lot of the bad movies we've talked about some of them have at least, even Pearl Harbor, the Japanese people were speaking in Japanese to each other.
Yes,
that's the thing. The people in this movie now, yes, the basic plot here is there is an English dude, and he wants to sell the Japanese army weapons. Now, I understand if he's talking to the Emperor and the Emperor is speaking in English to him, but we have Japanese people speaking in English with each other.
I guess there has to be some allowances made that this is a kid's movie, and you don't want some 4 and 5 year olds going to the movie for the Ninja Turtles and not being able to read what's going on the screen.
But it's inexplicable, though, because sometimes there's a few scenes where they are speaking in Japanese and there's no subtitles, and it's just meant to, be like, oh no, what are they actually talking about? But, the logic is ridiculous, because why wouldn't they just speak in Japanese the entire time?
Well, there's also, there is a brief explanation. It's even heard kind of off screen. Donatello starts to give the explanation as to why they'd be able to speak English.
And then they cut him off.
You're like, oh, shut up.
Yeah.
Well, you
How
and your
dare
fancy
you introduce
book learning.
logic? Donatello trying to introduce logic into this movie and the other turtles shutting him up pretty much sums up this movie.
Yep.
So yeah, feudal Japan. We don't get a lot right off the bat. Just the guy with a gross looking scepter. Let's just say it. I don't know. It's like a shitty prop.
Yes.
It's a pretty shitty prop.
But it's something that would have been easy to reproduce if you were making, like, say, a toy line.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Right.
Wait, you're not saying that things were created in this movie to make toys, are you?
No. Listen, Ishihiro-san, we can make toys with this thing.
Where did they come from? Can you lock that door? But yeah, we don't get a lot of it, but then we quickly go to the present because it's time to watch the turtles dance, because that's, again, another good way to start a Turtles movie.
Yes. Line dancing
with
turtles.
That hurt you?
That hurt me. You start off the movie watching the turtles dance with their weapons. It's ridiculous.
At least they got to use their weapons.
This is true.
What? Why not start with just like a random fight scene? Like, just have them fighting.
Have them fighting some crime in New York at the time.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
Well, actually, it's
You're right.
that is kind of funny because they make a point. Raph makes a point. He's really pissed off that nobody knows about them or appreciates them. So for them, that scene would actually drive home that feeling for him even more so if they were stopping, like, you know, a street gang or a couple of muggers or something like that. And then to have him complain, you know, I don't know why we do this. We don't get any sort of recognition for it. That actually would have made it just a little bit better, I think.
Yeah, something, right? Like, dancing right off the bat. The
90s, line dancing was a big thing.
The first... Yeah, they're line dancing. The big thing is people will notice right away if you watch this movie. The turtles do not look the same.
No.
They look horrendous.
The spots that they put on them, and everything, I was like, you don't know. No, you don't need that.
And they're just in certain areas of the body too. The spots.
Yeah, and the teeth.
Oh, yeah.
There were times I just could not get past the teeth.
How about when Leonardo smiles?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is nightmare fuel.
Too many teeth.
I couldn't focus on anything else when they were talking. All I could do was focus on the mouth and just try and figure it out.
Yeah. And they got teeth of a Julia Roberts proportion.
And like, there's so much, like, I understand their voiceover, but there's so much ADR in this movie that was added. You could tell it was added in at the last second, because there's some points where the mouths don't even move. Like, all the one-liners, you can tell they just, like... They're like, this scene is feeling a bit flat. Maybe we record, like, 4 lines in a row.
Do a bunch of punch-up, that way everybody can get their shit in.
Oh, there's so much punch-up in this movie. Like, I hope the guy who wrote all the punch-up, he deserved a screenwriting credit, because it's almost the entire movie.
Get him into that Writers Guild.
You know what? I actually have a quick question. We kind of glazed over the Japan stuff, but okay, the Emperor's name is Norinaga.
Yeah.
Is that supposed to be a play on Noriega?
I don't think
like,
so.
Yay to na.
Well, the Noriega thing would have been like back in the late 80s. So
I know, but it feels like they just changed Noriega to Norinaga.
I don't feel this movie is that clever or witty.
Well, I gave it more credit than it deserved, I guess.
Yep.
But April O'Neil quickly enters the scene. Paige Turco, of course.
Yes.
Returning was in the second
April,
one, but not the first.
No.
Yeah.
Judith Hoag or Hoag, or I don't know how her name was pronounced.
Hoag.
She. Yeah. I remember actually.
I can't remember.
Yeah, she. I remember that was one of the things when I was a kid. I didn't feel she looked April enough.
No, she did not at all.
Which one are we talking about?
Judith.
The original one?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think, like, honestly, she's far from the worst thing about this movie. Like, she does fine.
Actually, when they had Paige Turco as April in the second movie, I was like, I'm okay. I was okay with that as a kid. I found she closer resembled April than the first one did. I think it was a hair thing, because in the first one, the lady who played April had big frizzy hair, and Paige Turco's is a lot flatter and sits closer to her head, so she looked more like April than the other one did.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree.
she wasn't a
I don't
redhead.
remember. Yeah. I don't remember the first one real well, but like I was glancing through it there recently because I really wanted to compare the turtle costumes, and yeah, April. She didn't look like April. Like I had to actually stop and listen to the dialogue.
You want to know?
Oh, she's supposed to be April.
You know something funny? We're talking more about the first one than the third one at this point, but
that's right.
She actually looks like April from the comic book.
Yeah.
Because in the original comic book, April had this big frizzy hairdo. So, as a kid, she didn't look enough like April to me, but now that I'm looking back and seeing what April looked like in the original comics, she actually looked more true to what April would have looked like in the books for the movie.
Yeah, but the one from the second and third looks more like the
April from the cartoon. Yeah.
Okay. So did the cartoon come between the first two movies?
No. Cartoon came out first. There was a comic book hit. They turned that into a cartoon. Cartoon came out in 1987. Okay. And then the first movie came out in 1990, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because the second one came out in 1991.
Yeah.
And then this one was 1993.
And you want funny thing, I saw the first Ninja Turtle movie I saw at the first showing here at Parkway Cinemas. The second one I saw on the second showing, so the 9 o'clock show for Parkway Cinemas, and the third one I saw on the first matinee, which would technically be the third showing at Parkway Cinemas. So I saw them at in sequence in their showing time as well.
Excellent.
Kind of clever, actually.
You knew what you were doing.
No, I just couldn't get a friggin' ticket. My parents wouldn't let me go to the 9 o'clock show for Ninja Turtles 3, so...
They knew how bad it was going to be.
No, to be fair, my dad probably thought the first one was going to be terrible, too, because, it's a kid's thing.
Now, April O'Neil, like I said, she enters the scene, the sewer, and she has flea market gifts for everyone.
The best kind of gifts.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, Michelangelo gets a lampshade.
Well, while he was spelunking for pork rinds.
You know what I thought he said? I thought he said, I'm spelunking for porno.
That's what I heard the first time. I had to rewind it and listen to it again.
And I was
they are
that
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. I don't want to hear Turtles talking about that. And actually, there's something coming up later that we'll mention that also may be very uncomfortable.
I'm down there, June.
Okay, if you're not uncomfortable by this. But yeah, so...
Why does April think the scepter is an egg timer?
Because it has an egg timer in the center of it.
I like how she just, she got them all stuff, and then she's like, nah, I guess this weird thing is for Splinter.
It's got squiggles on it. I think that's Japanese.
By the way, a completely American man doing the voice of Splinter, doing a Japanese accent.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
Tony Shalhoub does the voice of Splinter on the current Ninja Turtles incarnation, I believe.
Yeah.
I think the only time they ever had a Japanese guy do the voice of Splinter was in that TMNT CGI movie.
Yeah.
They had...
which is technically the fourth one after this.
Yes, and is quite enjoyable.
I did enjoy it.
Yeah, they got Mako or however you pronounce his name, to be the voice of Splinter.
But I haven't watched any newer Turtles since Turtles Forever, the one with the 3 different
the crossovers,
generations.
Yeah,
I haven't seen anything since then.
The Nickelodeon series is actually pretty enjoyable. Very much, it's a nice mixture of the Fox Kids cartoon and the '87 series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this stupid scepter,
this ancient Japanese egg timer,
yeah, also is okay. So we should say that back in Japan, this guy Kenshin is the Emperor's son, and basically he is joining the rebellion because he doesn't like his father wanting to go to war with them. So he's fighting for the other side. Basically trying to reach some sort of agreement between the two parties. At the same time, the English are trying to sell the Emperor guns to use against the rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much... I got that pretty much, right?
Yep.
English?
Yep. Okay. The English, the British, whatever they are. So, Kenshin, when he's brooding in his room, he's the Scott Evil of this movie. He finds the scepter, And the thing is, even before it starts getting like into Crazy Town, he's by himself in the room. He's reading the Japanese writing in English out loud.
Yep.
After throwing a temper
himself.
tantrum.
He does throw a temper tantrum. He clears the room of these guys that are just chilling.
And weren't they? They were priests, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just like sitting there, and he's like, "I need to be with myself."
My dad is such a jerk.
Yeah.
Get out of my room.
He's like the Emperor's emo kid son.
Oh god.
So this is where, so he grabs the scepter, he starts reading it. April says like, "Hey, this egg timer thing is freaking out. By the way, just throw it somewhere. Don't hang on to it." And they switch places. So Kenshin ends up in the sewer, and April goes to feudal Japan.
Right.
Okay, I didn't understand why they switched clothes. Shouldn't they have just come in the clothes that they were wearing?
Well,
That was weird.
That's the thing. Like, Donatello later posits that it's an equal displacement of mass.
Yeah.
So that's fine. Okay, so like if it's just organic mass, and they switch. So he would pop into her clothes, and she would pop into his clothes. This is thrown out the window immediately because her stupid friggin' Walkman comes with her.
Yeah.
Inorganic material.
Right. Guys, the time travel stuff in this movie is it might be the stupidest time travel stuff in any movie. Like
I have some of the
logic-
same problems with the chaps that come that switch places with the turtles.
Oh. I
Yes.
wonder why. Yeah.
So, yeah, they switch. And, April freaks out, obviously, because she's in feudal Japan. Kenshin passes out because he doesn't know what's going on. And then we get a fucking hilarious line because he calls them Kappa, and Michelangelo says, "Kappa? Cappuccino? It makes me hyper. Ha ha!"
There is so much ham-fisted comedy in this movie.
That is
the
such
line
a
where
forced
Michelangelo's like, "How did you
line."
get into April's pants?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even catch that one.
Oh, I caught that one.
it
I
was-
caught that one when I first saw it as
It
a
was
kid.
when he's passed out. Right after he
Right,
passes
he
out.
kind of comes to again, and Michelangelo's poking around at him. He's like, "How'd you get into April's pants?"
Yeah.
Can you give me any tips?
Yeah, well, you know what? Like, I got a fun
Yeah.
little story about that later when we're after we've done the wrap up.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
What?
trust me, it's intriguing, and you'll
If
want to
you-
seek
if-
this out on YouTube once I tell you
I was
all
gonna.
about it.
Oh, you know what?
think I know
That's
what you're
actually one of the
talking about.
clips I have because I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, good then. We'll keep everybody else in
we'll-
suspense then.
Ooh, we'll save that clip for later. It's so good.
Stay tuned.
So yeah, Donatello at this point gives us like exposition / historical background on the tradings between Japan and England.
And that's why they would be able to speak English, or he'd be able to speak
Right.
English.
Yeah.
So shut up,
The
Donatello.
turtles. Do the turtles seem that bothered that April is stuck in Japan? Because they're still cracking jokes.
Yeah.
They're still having a good time. Michelangelo's dancing with boxer shorts on.
Well, they've formulated a plan that they're going to equally displace their mass and travel back to feudal Japan to rescue April. Michelangelo, being the thoughtful turtle that he is, decides he's going to wear a set of shorts so that the chap who comes in his place isn't going to arrive as he say a butt hair naked. Is that what he said?
think so.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Bare butt naked.
Bare butt naked.
And
And
you can't say bare ass naked.
right. So Michelangelo's wearing shorts. None of the other turtles take him up on his offer of, swim trunks to
Splinter
wear.
says they don't have enough time.
Yeah. But when the guys show up, they're all wearing their underpants or their
Undergarments or whatever, yeah.
which basically look like the turtles' chest plate and codpiece. Except for the guy who switched places with Michelangelo, who is just wearing Michelangelo's shorts.
Yep.
Why wouldn't his chest
Be underneath it.
right?
Yep.
Why would any of them have those chest plates though?
Right, exactly, but it's a kids movie, so
I mean, yeah, but they could have been like creative about it. You know what I mean?
they could have. They weren't.
They could have done like an Austin Powers type deal.
They could have done a lot of things better for this movie. Come on.
Well, I mean, I guess.
But that takes time and effort.
Yeah.
We also neglected to mention that Casey Jones is back from the first one.
Yeah.
Played by Elias, however you pronounce his last name.
Koteas?
Sure.
He's on Chicago PD now, and it was weird to see him with all that hair, and my wife didn't believe me that was him.
He's baller now.
Yeah, he is bald.
Complete bald. Yeah.
Yep.
His scene is like when he arrives, his scene is bananas because when he's talking to the turtles, he's on screen by himself. You could tell there's no one else in the room when he's acting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, he is literally playing to the camera and no one else. But he's upset because he wants to bust some skulls, and they're like, "No, Casey, we know we just brought sort of a fan favorite from the first one back to the franchise, but you're gonna stay here and make hockey jokes."
Don't worry, though. We've got a British, nowhere near kick-ass version of you to use in feudal Japan.
Well, my question is he British? Is he Australian? Is he American? Because he goes through
Is
about
he
5
Idiard?
accents.
Yeah.
Well, when he becomes this other character, we might as well say this right now. His lines are so short, and I think it's because he was not able to maintain the same accent.
I guarantee you that.
Because as Casey Jones, fine. Elias Koteas, I'm down with it. As Japan Jones, no, absolutely not.
Just no.
No, he's terrible. So, all right, so back to Japan. Let's go back to Japan and talk about April in the presence of Emperor Norinaga because they break her Walkman.
Because it played Gloria Estefan in Miami Sound Machine.
Which, I understand. I sympathize. Here, I'm gonna actually do something. We don't usually do this too often, but I've got a little clip here to play.
Okay.
So this is right after, this is shortly after they break her Walkman, and this guy Walker, who is the Englishman
Texas
who's
Ranger?
trying to sell them the guns.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, Walker, Texas Ranger, who's trying to sell them the guns. He comes in the midst of it and kind of talks it over with April and Norinaga. So let's just play this clip here. It's about a minute long, and we'll talk about it after. There's some things to say.
The daimyo and his court believe that you're a witch who has somehow managed to spirit away his son. Is this true?
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I am a witch. See that? I shrunk 4 incredibly cool guys, and I locked him in there.
Really? And go ahead, witch. Shrink me.
Don't push me, Ruffles, or I'll melt you into a steaming puddle of puke.
She has no power. Let me question her about your son, then you can roast her, toast her, chop her into tiny little pieces, and feed her to the birds. Oh, I want her to suffer.
So there you go.
All right,
He's
Ruffles.
gonna turn him into puke.
First thing I want to say
Wrestling
is,
reference in.
like Walker being like that weird reaction thing where she says, I'm gonna turn you into a puddle of puke or whatever, and he just like has this weird thing, done. Like, what was that?
Tourette's.
I tried turning the subtitles on and rewinding that, and I still am not confident about what he said. And then he says, you can roast her, toast her,
Yeah.
cut her into a million pieces,
Feed her to the birds.
feed her to the birds. And he says, no, I want her to suffer. What the fuck is that then?
Yeah. Apparently that's nothing in ancient Japan.
Yeah. Roasting someone alive is apparently not enough suffering.
Well, no, because then you got to toast them after you roast them. So
That's right.
I think it's just too much work for them.
See, I did say you'd want to toast them before you roast them. Because
You would think so.
Yes.
My favorite
You
part of
are
that whole
correct.
scene, though, is still Ruffles.
Ruffles.
He is dressed like a musketeer.
Yeah.
Oh, I will also say though, as weird as that like done thing was, I genuinely think Stuart Wilson is pretty good in this movie.
It's the I'm trying my hardest to save this thing award goes to.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's there to play. He knows exactly what this thing is. All right, well, turtles. Let's get these turtles over to Japan, guys.
Into Shogun?
Into Shogun.
Because they
it's
actually
time
say
to riff
that.
some more.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's time to riff. Yeah, man. So April also gets thrown into a prison at this point. Gets thrown into a cage. This guy Niles, who we'll talk about later, of course, with the little wet willy thing. I get it that there is such a thing as a Tweety Bird, but it sounded like he was making an actual Tweety Bird reference.
Okay.
In 1600s Japan, like the character Tweety Bird.
Oh, okay. What reference is that? I missed it.
Well, he simply says, like, he throws her into the cage and he's like, my little Tweety Bird. And it just, I don't know, to me it just sounded like, you know what, Warner Brothers existed in feudal Japan.
Oh.
Again, I don't think they're that clever.
I don't, yeah. I mean, he could have said, you know, if you had said that he was like, oh, I thought I saw a prisoner or something, I don't know, then I'd give you some credit just to them making a reference to it, but I think you're reaching here.
Well, it could even just be because the guy has an obsession with birds, like his boss. Could just be.
Yeah,
it.
that's a thing that kind of gets touched on, but not really.
Not until the end.
It doesn't really. Yeah, it doesn't really amount to much, except, you know, it kind of... Anyway, we'll get to that, but... Yeah. So, guys, help me out with something here.
Okay.
Because she's in the cell, or whatever, the little cage.
Mm-hmm.
She sees Japan Jones, and she says, Casey? And then it's never brought up again.
Well,
So,
yeah,
is he actually supposed to be a descendant of Casey Jones?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a big question.
Because, yeah, he looks at her when she says it and then just starts looking around.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And we don't get anything in the future where Casey's like, oh, you know, my ancient ancestors traveled to Japan there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was kind of a prick and he didn't know who he was. Yeah, and then she looks at a rat and she's like, huh, I know where you came from.
Oh, you know, you
Cut
look
to
familiar
Splinter.
too.
Yeah, you look
Yeah.
familiar too.
There's a line before they go to Japan where Splinter says, we have no time for this scientific debate. Like, wouldn't that be important? To kind of establish.
I think that
before
wasn't
you
that the
leave.
point where
Not to a rat.
with the shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah. No, shorts barely are a scientific debate. Yeah.
Yeah, so Quip City population this movie now.
Oh my
god.
god.
Japan.
Yes. I think
They're
I
on
swallowed
horseback.
a frog. I hope it wasn't an ancestor. Oh my god, we're in Shogun.
I must admit, the graphics for them going with the lightning and all that, that was probably the best of the movie.
Yeah, the Terminator time travel stuff was pretty good.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and guys, my other thing here is Michelangelo, he's the only one that ends up going like backwards on his horse, like when he lands in Japan.
Right.
Yeah.
And he is
Which
just
causes the notion
riffing.
that the guy who was transported in his place was riding his horse backwards.
Yeah, he had to have been.
Yeah.
And he is just riffing to no one in particular. Like, no one is his audience.
I feel I think Michelangelo missed his concerted dosage that morning.
This is the only other clip I want to play because it's a short one, but it's just, keep in mind, no one is listening to him right now. This is just Michelangelo. Okay.
Buttermilk! Whoa! Good horsey! Good horsey! Whoa! Whoa! Hey, who turned out the lights? Whoa! You know, I think I saw this on Bonanza once. Whoa! Whoa!
Like, no one's listening to
What
him.
did he see it on?
Bantha?
Maybe he just likes talking to himself. Which doesn't surprise me, knowing like that character.
Well, you know, when he was trying on the shorts, we did happen upon him dancing and singing Hawaiian.
Pretty much.
When no one else was watching.
By himself.
Yeah.
By himself. It's just such a... Anytime in a movie someone is just making jokes with no one around, it just seems... It's so stupid because you're clearly doing it for the movie, like the movie audience, which, again, makes no sense in terms of the actual movie, in terms of the actual story. You know what I mean?
They don't know they're in a movie.
No.
Also, the shot of the ancient Japanese kingdom. How many times did they use that shot in this movie?
I think 5.
You mean that still picture?
Yes.
I think it was 5.
Oh my god, I have a note here. We paid for this, we're gonna use it.
Ishihiro, we got a picture.
We gotta pad this film out. Get a picture and show it a bunch of times.
Damn it, how do they keep getting in here? So, yeah, the turtles get separated. Michelangelo gets knocked out by one of the rebels. Mm-hmm. We find out later is Mitsu.
Which is the name of a Quebecois singer in Canada.
Yeah, it's played by the same person.
Wouldn't that be great?
You know what? I wouldn't put it past this movie.
Hey, Mitsu was kind of foxy there. I'm just going to put that out there.
Oh, no, but I'm saying, like, getting someone who's
singer.
not Japanese to play a Japanese person.
Hey, it worked for Ghost in the Shell.
Wait, now you said there was a thing about how he said, how one of the turtles said, I think I swallowed a toad. I hope it wasn't an ancestor,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Is not one an amphibian and one a reptile?
Yes.
Okay. Just gonna throw that out there.
It's a kid's movie.
So many pop culture.
It's a kid's movie.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still dumb.
Oh, I'm not saying it's not.
So many stupid pop culture jokes in this movie, and it's so funny because they are incredibly dated now.
Okay, and one thing that really bothers me about this, when they start making these jokes in Japan, the Japanese people just smile like they know what the hell they're talking about. When they would have no clue of any of the references.
Howard Stern, good joke, reptile-san.
Lifestyles of the rich and dangerous. I think that was the most dated one. Yeah, so Mikey gets knocked out by like the rebels because they're like, it's a giant. Well, at first they think it's just one of the samurai, and then they're like, oh, okay, don't worry, guys, it's just a giant mutated turtle. And the rest of the turtles are trying to bust April out of prison. Another great line here I wrote down. The Emperor says something along the lines of, "Secrets leak like a stink from a dead pig." And then
that
Walker
old
says,
Japanese proverb.
and then Walker follows up with, "You have a way with words, my lord." Oh, yeah. So let's talk about the prison scene.
Oh, not Oz? Okay, sorry.
No, not Oz. I was about to sing the wrong song. I was about to say, "Got myself a gun."
That's good lord.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not the same thing.
you really need to brush up on your gritty HBO dramas.
I know. I've watched all of Oz. Funny enough, I'm not done The Sopranos though.
Yeah.
So yeah, the prison scene. I love how the turtles, they're Japanese. It's just car brand names.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the amount of inappropriate Asian jokes in this movie.
Wow, you guys do have a good educational system, huh?
Yeah.
Kawasaki Toyota? How about sayonara? Adios, ciao.
So bad.
Do you remember when Mark used to make those jokes?
Yeah.
When he was what the hell?
Sonny?
No, not when he was Sonny Warcloud. When he was
Susaki
Tanaki.
Yeah.
Just going to clarify here before anybody's like, what the hell are you talking about?
Everybody right now just went, what?
Way back in our professional wrestling days when we had this chap, he played a character named Susaki Tanaki. He's a white guy who lived in Barnesville, but he played a character named Susaki Tanaki. And when he came out to speak Japanese, all he said were things like, "Oh, Mitsubishi Nintendo Honda."
Yep.
So we're all
You know
guilty of
what?
it. We're all guilty of it.
You know what though?
What?
Still more sensitive than this movie.
I don't know, man.
It's a tough call.
It's a really tough call.
a tough call.
Yes.
I just have a lot of things here where it just says there's a lot of quipping. There's so much quipping. Why is there so much quipping? Because they bust in the prison. They give Niles a wet willy.
Fantastic.
Yep.
He says wet what'em, I think.
And
Yeah.
watch the hands on the left side of the screen. They like don't even go near his ear the first time.
Oh, I didn't notice
It
that.
like misses the ear and then he goes back into it.
Okay, give me 20 minutes. I'm gonna watch that right now. Yeah, and the big guy guarding them, they make like 5 fat jokes in a row.
Yeah.
He locks himself in his cage. Like, you can tell it's just so last minute because it's all they're off screen for every one of these lines.
The I'll be back one
And-
is the most egregious ADR
Oh my
in
god,
this
Raphael!
exchange, anyways.
He does not move his mouth. It's almost like they went to an Arnold Schwarzenegger soundboard before they existed and just inserted the clip.
And the thing that bothered me the most about the guard though is he started lifting himself in the cage.
Yeah.
Like why?
Well, he's terrified of these kappa.
Yeah, but
How is that
they're
going to save them,
demons.
though?
yeah, he's gonna be higher to their like eye level if he lifts himself.
He's in a cage. He's trying to get away, I guess. Maybe he just wanted to show his mad upper body skills. I don't know.
maybe.
Most of the Japanese... Here's another thing. In these Turtles movies, do you ever once feel like the Turtles are in any sort of peril from these villains?
No.
Not really, no.
They're kicking their asses all over the place.
Yeah.
At least in the first two, it looked like the villains stood a chance at times.
Well, Raphael gets beaten into a coma in the first one.
Oh, see, I definitely don't remember that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the impetus of them to leave the city. When they're staying at April's first, after Splinter gets kidnapped in the first movie,
Yep.
they go to live with April so they can regroup and figure out what they're going to do. Raphael gets into a fight with Leonardo, goes up onto the rooftop, and then gets into a big fight with all these foot soldiers who just beat the hell out of him and then throw him through a skylight.
No.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think I've even seen the first movie.
Oh my! Do yourself a favor.
Yeah, watch that.
Well, I have it now. Like I've got it now. But because I wanted to look at it and nothing looked familiar, so maybe I haven't seen it.
Do yourself a favor. It's fantastic.
But as for going back to the peril thing, about 40 guards came in to the dungeon and nothing.
You're expecting maybe the Addams family?
Yeah, and then they just destroy them all.
Yeah.
Yeah. See you next fall. Whoa, watch your head. Whoa.
Oh yeah, so many one-liners. It's just in that one fight.
But in all fairness, though, in the first movie, there are a fair bit of one-liners during the fights and stuff like that. But it's not to the degree that it is in this movie.
No, not at all.
Oh no, like you said, the guy who did the punch-ups did most of the script.
Yeah, had to.
Like,
Yeah.
that is most of the movie. So, okay, Nathan or Malcolm, I can't get up. Maybe one of you guys want to talk about the really disturbing moment here coming up. So the Turtles in April, they make it out. They're out in the
They've escaped. Yep, they're in the wilds of Japan.
Oh, is this?
Yeah,
April's cutting the
Is
length
that
of her
what-
skirt.
yeah. Go right ahead.
She shortens her skirt, and she's like, "What? I'm on vacation." They're like, "It's okay." Swing.
Yeah.
So they're talking about their turtle boners.
Yes, April gave them a
To
turtle
April,
boner.
yeah.
Yeah.
A human.
I'm pretty
Which is not-
sure there are some comics online that regard this.
It's not the first time the idea of an interspecies relationship has been broached by the Ninja Turtles and April.
It's usually Mikey though, isn't it?
Usually,
It's
Yes.
90%
Yeah.
Mikey.
yeah,
P.S. More to come on that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was the first. That was one of the most disturbing parts, I thought.
We also find out that Raphael is a big nature buff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, loves
He's like,
it.
"Oh
No
my god, I love this
irritants.
fresh air and
Look at the water. You don't see anything. Oh yeah.
He wants to migrate because he has a beak.
yeah."
Yep.
He's not a smart man or a smart turtle, I guess.
None of them are. Well, come on, they're
No.
only teenagers. What do you expect?
This is true, you know.
So the rebels now attack because they think the turtles are part of the Imperial Army, I guess.
Well, they are
The
wearing
guards,
they're wearing the Japanese guard outfits.
Which, I'm sorry, I know they have helmets on, but you could tell there's no human faces underneath that. They should be like looking at that and be like, hold the phone, guys, what is that?
Okay. So they come and attack, and I don't understand this. April's stuck to a tree with one arrow.
Yes.
And that's it. She just stands there and does nothing.
Nope.
No, until Japan Jones saves her.
Exactly. Like I think she looks at the arrow and then looks back up at the camera.
I mean, she doesn't want to rip her costume that's not hers.
Well, she's already cut enough of it.
Yeah, well, it's so poor Kenshin's gonna go back with like booty shorts when he gets back.
Oh yeah, but I'll talk about that at the end.
It's gonna kick off the fashion craze that defined feudal Japan.
Also, are we not even concerned about messing with the space-time continuum in
Not
this
at
movie?
all.
Not
Nope.
in this.
Nope. And in
Because
fact,
people-
just because the idea, like, we've kind of glazed over this, there was a prophecy. That's why they think these turtles are Kappa.
Oh, the demons,
But the
yeah.
demons, they look like turtles. They look like
Okay.
the Ninja Turtles. So this posits the idea: had this movie not been such a dumpster fire with its reception, we could have possibly gotten a sequel where they went even further back in time.
Yeah.
That part I do not understand because, see, Norinaga says my ancestors were killed by these demons, and not only do they look like the turtles, they have the same goddamn bandanas.
Same bandana, same elbow pads, knee pads, everything.
Well, no, they didn't have bandanas on.
No, they had the
did.
elbow pads and knee pads for sure. I
Yeah,
know, I saw
but
that.
in the parchment, none of them have the headbands on.
Oh, okay.
It's just the turtle face.
Yeah.
I remember the headbands, but even then,
Even without that, they still look
Yeah.
exactly like the turtles.
they are the friggin' turtles, and it's like, what? Wait,
Yeah,
what
they
is
could-
this movie trying to posit?
They could have easily made a fourth one and could have actually named it Turtles in Time or Turtles in Time
Where they
2.
just wipe out Norinaga's ancestor? Just
Yeah,
kill them
exactly.
all?
Well, you see, that's
It
the
would've
thing.
been a
They
little
were.
darker.
He said they were defeated, not killed. Defeated. So I mean, you
Yeah.
can be defeated without being killed.
It's not as fun,
that,
though.
That part is really strange, and also later when they see the scrolls, like when the turtles see them, they're just like, "Hey, look, guys, it's us. Cool. Okay, back to the movie."
Yeah,
Yeah. No.
Nothing.
That's it. We're done touching on that.
absolutely nothing.
So, okay, the rebels realize they're just giant mutant turtles. So I mean, we're fine now. They're not
yeah.
the Imperial
what's
Army.
that line?
What's it?
Oh, when he throws the and stops.
No, lady, that's not
Yes,
nice.
That.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he just and she understands. She just sits there and goes, "Oh." And then
Well, yeah, because
stops.
and even at first she's speaking Japanese to her cohorts.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, okay, she's gonna. Nope. Perfectly plain English. Perfectly plain English.
Yeah, for being 1600 in Japan, their English is better than most of the people I know around here.
Well, you know, it's because they were trading with the English at the time that
Yes.
they were at that.
That's how they got the perfect English.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it only takes a couple days, guys, and then you can nail it.
Yeah. Mikey posits the idea that what the hell is this? The Musketeer guy looks like Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
does not look like
okay.
Clint Eastwood at all.
Not in the least. No.
And actually, there's like 2 or 3 different references to that about him
Yeah.
from different turtles.
Yep.
Because Raphael says one as well.
So this is where, so this scene you were talking about, so Mikey is in the village, because they've kind of, the rebels had knocked him out, and they took him to the village, and he recovers just as Walker's coming in, invading, with his men to, like, you know, capture, kill, whatever.
And burn and destroy.
Well, no,
Yeah,
they didn't
it's
want to kill
basically-
anyone. He just said fire above their heads. So he
yeah,
just
it's
wanted to
basically
scare
like
them.
a Vietnam era, like, war crime.
Until they decide to start lighting the place on fire.
Yeah.
So then, okay, so the thing here is that the other turtles realize that Mikey's down there, so they come in for the save, but their method of saving him is very haphazard.
Yeah.
So they come up behind Niles, the Wet Willy fella,
Yep.
and they give him a Wet Willy, and he just so happens to raise his gun and shoot it and knock Walker's hat off, thankfully ending Walker's holding the gun on Mikey. Like, it was a very like coincidental string of events.
Yes.
And then Mikey's like, "Great timing, dudes."
Yeah. Doesn't Michelangelo save a kid from a fire here? And
I think
they make
he does, and then Leonardo brings him
reference.
back. Yeah.
Well, he makes a backdraft joke, which
He says, "Kurt Russell, eat your heart out."
Yup. And then Leo, with April standing right there, does CPR on a human child.
With the mouth not even touching.
Would it not make more sense for April to be the one performing CPR on this child?
But here's
I do have to take...
Go ahead.
Sorry. I was just going to say, I do have to take Mitsu to task here, though, because she's been on board with the turtles the whole time, and when he's about to perform CPR, she's like, "No, he's going to cast an evil spell!"
Yep.
But here's the thing. Mikey goes into the house to save the kid. Leo gives him CPR, but yet somehow he's drawn to Raphael.
Yep.
The only one that has nothing to do with him is Donatello.
Yeah.
That's because Corey Feldman was like, "Pass." Imagine if Corey Feldman was actually in the suit. He's like 6 inches shorter than all the other turtles.
Oh,
that would have been fantastic.
No, they probably would have put Corey Haim in the suit so they don't want to see him.
Is there... Now, did they make a Lone Ranger joke?
did they?
I think
so.
they
did.
Yeah.
They play the music
During
when
the
they're all
horsey?
riding horses.
Yeah, so they're doing their horsey training.
And then Donatello is like, sometimes I hate that guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because Leo's like, "I got it," and he's like riding around doing trick riding and
Standing
stuff
up
like
on
that.
it and-
Yeah.
That would
It's
have
just
been
like-
really hard.
Yeah.
In that
In
suit
that
to
turtle
stand
getup?
on a horse.
Absolutely.
There had to be wires. Had to be.
It really speaks to this movie, though, because Donatello, like, the line is, "Sometimes I hate that guy," and you'd think that'd be enough, but then he has to go, "Yeah." Like,
To drive it home.
That's the joke, guys. Now's the laughter part.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what we get to do now? Go back to modern day New York.
Oh, fun. I mean, what?
Yeah.
When Casey Jones tells them to try a little herbal? Because I wasn't thinking tea in that scene.
Tea.
I was not thinking tea when Casey Jones says that.
I actually, what I really took away from this scene was that hockey brings people together.
That's
And then
fair.
beat the hell out of each other. It's
In a
fine.
fun hockey kind of way, yeah.
What I took away from this scene was that you can get really good TV reception in the sewer.
Well, as long as you have one of those really old small ones, you're
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're not even in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Spanner
so
just
basically
looks at
what we're saying here is that Casey Jones gets all these samurai that are in the Turtles, have taken the Turtles' place in New York to watch hockey.
Mm-hmm.
And they are enthralled.
Yeah, the samurais are ready to, like, make some ruckus and start beating up Casey Jones. You're like, ooh, what's this?
Yeah.
And all five of them just staring at it, trying to touch it.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounded really bad out loud.
Well, you know.
It's not the worst
This
thing
is
that's
where
been
the-
said on this podcast.
So far from it. Now this is where the costumes really start to be. I think this is where they're really the most noticeable. Possibly is when Raphael has this scene with Yoshi when he's like
fuck
again.
He-Man object lesson moment. I was almost expecting Orko to deliver this. You really got to get a handle on your temper. You see.
Yeah.
Yeah, Raphael's basically trying to get Yoshi to control his temper, and the whole time he's doing this weird smiling, and it's just so unsettling.
Yes.
Oh, my favorite part is, did I just say that?
Yeah. It is quite it was quite out of character for Raphael to tell someone,
yeah.
you need to calm down and watch your temper.
I get the movie was going for that, like, oh, isn't it ironic that Raphael is telling someone to control his temper? And it's like, no, shut up, movie. We should also talk about there's also a constant struggle in this movie with Walker trying to sell the weapons to the Emperor because he's hesitant about it at first.
Yeah.
But then when Walker eventually sees the turtles, which we talked about earlier in the Clint Eastwood bit, he's more willing to do it because they are like, you know, he says, oh, they killed my ancestors or they defeated my ancestors. Guns for gold. And he eventually signs off on it, and they're going to sell them some guns, because that's an exciting subplot in this Turtles movie.
Which, I don't know, man. Like, it's 1603. I'm pretty sure that black powder has been weaponized long before this. And I'm pretty sure it was the Eastern cultures that did it.
If you
apparently
are
not this area of Japan.
If you are positing to me that the writers of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 did not do their research, then I challenge that.
Challenge it. You know
Son
what,
of a snapper.
You know what Walker apparently did develop, or was ahead of his time on? He has an adult coloring book. Did you see that, where he was painting the pictures of the bird and it was just right in the line?
It was it was a flower, because then it
was a flower.
Then he picked up the flower, started ripping the petals off and threw it.
Yeah. He's like painting.
It's weird that he was
painstakingly.
Isn't it weird that he was coloring a flower and not a bird?
Yeah.
Yes. Considering his
'Cause that
obsession
was
with birds. Yeah.
Which again, it's
once.
weird. Like it's touched upon, but then it's like forgotten. Like,
and then
for
it nearly
a long time.
kills him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of does.
Guys, I don't want to jump to conclusions, but I think this screenplay was poorly written.
You don't say.
I'm
I'm
not sold on that.
Or
yet.
was it the zany hockey fight between the
oh my god,
the Shogun, which are in modern day New York? Because when Casey tries to say, "Hey, let's try some hockey," and they just start beating the crap out of each other.
If you watch the guy in the back, he almost picks him up like a body slam and then puts him down.
Although I think Kenshin is like the only smart one.
Yeah.
Like, he's the one that doesn't do any of that.
Like, that's what they're driving at, because like they're supposed to be like meathead soldiers, and he's supposed to be the enlightened prince, or was it heir apparent? I guess would be, because emperors don't have princes.
Yeah, because he just chills with Splinter and calls him Sensei.
Yeah, he calls him Sensei for some reason.
Yeah, and does Splinter have time-traveling Spidey sense?
Oh my god, I have exactly that note. Splinter can hear across time.
Because, like, I forget what happens, but he says something bad. Like,
and then,
I forget what it was.
Then he goes along with it. It's like, I sense it too.
Yeah. It's almost like he's lying, though. It's like one of those things where it's like, oh, yeah, totally, yep.
Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah, that too.
I feel it.
I think Kenshin just wanted to belong.
I totally got the Force too, Yoda. Because back in the town, back in the rebel home base,
Raphael's flying kites.
It was a touching yo-yo moment.
Raphael makes Yoshi a yo-yo.
Yep.
We also find out that Donatello basically constructs a new scepter.
Yeah.
Or he gets someone else to do it, sorry.
But he comes up with the plan.
Yeah.
I will say I got
together.
one genuine laugh in this scene here. Is when he says, April says, like, are you really gonna construct a new scepter? And he's like, no, of course not. That guy is. He's good with his hands.
Just banging metal. Yeah.
I got a little giggle off that one.
And then Mikey makes pizza and uses it as a frisbee.
And hits Donatello and a Japanese fella.
Yeah. Oh yes, I have a note there that I actually called it yuck yuck pizza. Because it was a real Three Stooges type moment.
Oh, when he bites it and goes, yeah!
And tosses it, dong dong.
And guys, that is like less stereotypical than what he actually says in the movie.
Yeah, it is. That's the sad part.
Oh, yeah. So, well, here's the guy that Japan Jones inexplicably turns on everyone at this point.
Yeah. Well, not inexplicably. I mean, it is like a turncoat moment, but we find out a little bit later, and not to run ahead, but I mean we kind of have to, that Walker has paid him to lie, to cheat, and steal.
But the only note I have right now for that is Japanese Casey Jones is an asshole.
Well, I don't really understand his character in general.
Yeah, it flip flops.
Yeah, like he does that, and then of course later we'll get the thing where he turns again, but it's like I don't understand what his motivation was in the first place, because he turns on them, he kidnaps Mitsu, and wants the scepter back because Yoshi, spoiler alert, was hiding the scepter the whole time.
Little brat.
Which it's funny because when they give Raph the scepter, they're like, "Oh, check it out," and they're just passing it around. They just broke the other one, the new one that they constructed, just broke it a few moments ago, and now they're just tossing this thing around like it's not gonna break.
Yeah, it's
more sturdy because it's ancient.
Sturdier.
Also, when they break the first one, when they break the first one, it sounds like they drop it down a well that's like indoors.
Yeah, and it just drops for like 15 feet.
That's a really unsafe thing to have.
It was the bathroom.
That's why they weren't going to get it.
They live in a sewer. No one's gonna reach down. Come on, turtles.
Well, come on. When they broke out of the...
They live in the sewer. They don't live in sewage.
Yeah, because when they broke out of the jail,
sure
they fell
they've
into the
seen it.
sewage.
And actually, in this one, they don't even live in the sewer because they live in an old abandoned
Train.
subway tunnel or
Yeah.
station. Yeah.
But yeah. So Japan Jones takes Mitsu. He takes the scepter, goes back to Walker. Then, weirdly, April just shows up to confront them and tells Walker not to trust Japan Jones. I'm like, what?
And that's
Like,
where he
did you
says, "I
think-
know. I've paid him to lie, to cheat, and steal."
But wasn't that weird? Like, why would April willingly go there by herself?
Well, it was a distraction, so the turtles could climb up the wall.
Right, and they could have their sewer trap.
See, I didn't think they really spelled that out very well.
He can
And I was
scum
like-
a bad name. I was like, good. That's a good line. Good line.
Yeah.
Although, it's funny you mention all these modern jokes that the turtles keep making. They make this joke about the Emperor. Someone calls him a Wayne Newton looking dude, and I was like, he does look like Wayne Newton.
Also, even a Wayne Newton joke, even in 1993, horribly outdated.
I don't know. He was in Fort Fairlane. That came out in like 1990.
Yeah, he was still semi-relevant, but not really. He was on that line.
Yeah.
Wayne Newton, Las Vegas comedian. I'm gonna argue that was outdated in 1993.
You can argue it. I'm not going to accept your argument, but you can argue it.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine because I have a note that says self-wet Willie.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get to that. So, the turtles now are going after, like we said, they're going after to try to get Mitsu back on the scepter because obviously they want to go back to their time period.
Yeah, a pretty big fight scene. And this is like actually one of the, in my opinion anyways, one of the better parts of the movie. The fight choreography that happens in the preceding scenes is actually quite good considering the amount of movement these guys have to put on wearing those big bulky turtle suits. They even get like that high foot in there, which looked really sharp.
And even in the previous fights, they were also slow.
Yeah.
All the fights. Like,
it was they were bulky moving and stuff like that. This one is very, very fluid.
Are we talking about the one in the the climactic fight here?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. And because Leonardo then has his duel with Norinaga.
Oh my god, I have got a fantastic story about this.
Okay.
Okay.
Go on.
So,
I'm intrigued now.
he's only during this sword duel with Norinaga, Norinaga's got one sword, Leo's got one sword. They're, battling. And I told you I saw this at a matinee when I originally saw it in theaters. So, you've got to understand that a good portion of the crowd are all little kids. Right? Because it's like 3 PM. Parents are taking their kids that because their kid's not going to be able to stay up past 8 o'clock to see a Ninja Turtles movie. Yeah. While this is happening, there is this little kid behind me losing his mind, yelling at the screen for Leonardo to use his other sword. Use your other sword, Leo! Come on, it's right there!
Oh my god.
Well, he does eventually.
Eventually.
Yeah. But this kid was like, just yelling at the screen. I'm like, I didn't think this really happened.
Yeah, like he it looks like he's gonna cut his head off.
Yes.
He merely cuts his little
Ponytail.
it cuts a piece of his hair.
Oh,
yeah.
Or the Sneetch Chris Jericho thing. Yeah.
What did you call it?
the wrestling.
Yeah, Sneech. I already made the wrestling reference. We got that one in earlier when I said,
Oh,
she was
I know,
gonna
I'm
turn
just-
him into puke.
No, I'm saying they're coming in Fast and Furious. That's what I'm
Oh, okay.
saying. I just have a note here that says the turtles are kind of doing stereotypical Japanese yelling types screaming. I also swear I heard like a Japanese version of like the Wilhelm scream at one point.
That's a possibility.
Oh yeah.
It was like, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So
that was
just
it.
happened.
Didn't sound Japanese at all.
No, it didn't.
Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna do the real one because it's more offensive.
Wow.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So the big battle scene, and so sorry, I got distracted for a second. The big battle scene, yes. So the Norinaga fight, and then Leonardo drops a bell on him, which somehow doesn't kill him.
Right.
And then
Or
they make
render
like
him deaf or anything.
He was just tiny enough so that he could fit in the hole
Yep.
of the bell. And
how did
yeah.
yeah he perfectly. Like, if anything, Donatello should be doing that scene because he knows more about like mathematics and science.
Yeah. The equations to get it right so it doesn't kill him. But no,
Yeah.
Donatello just whacks it with his cane.
And again, we really need to pause the idea that they did not give a shit about the space-time continuum at all.
No.
No,
because
they
people are
openly
getting
try to murder
killed
people.
left, right, and center in this fight.
Technically, they're not being... Oh, yeah,
No, there's a couple people that get killed.
a couple that die, but not a lot. A lot of them just get knocked the hell out.
Right.
Yeah. They do call him Don King,
Yep.
Yep.
Well, that's after
which again,
the canon.
yeah, that's later. But I mean, that is another example of a joke that was clearly added after.
Yeah, no, Walker was going to shoot them with a cannon.
Yeah,
And
well,
then-
let's talk about this scene here.
Okay.
this cannon scene. Go ahead.
Well, Walker was going to shoot them with the cannon to prove that they weren't demons, that the bullets would not bounce off
That's
them.
because he told them you couldn't kill us with your regular weapons. He goes, okay,
Right.
here, I'll pull out this freaking giant cannon and shoot you with it.
And he shoots the cannon, and Leo ducks down in his shell. It blows the top off of the Bell prison.
I love being a turtle.
I love being a turtle, and hey, look, it's Don King.
Yeah.
Because Niranagi comes up, and he's got, big frizzy Don King hair.
How do you feel about this ducking in the shell thing?
Dude, they use it in every movie.
At least once.
Yeah.
I don't remember it in the second one at all.
Really? No, they use it in the second one for sure.
And they definitely used it in the first one.
Yeah. Because that's one of the ways they do that, and usually they'll work in the line, I love being a turtle.
Maybe it's just the fact that these costumes are so horrible that it just looks like garbage.
Well,
It's a very good possibility.
there's that. We're not.
So yeah,
well, the best part. This is the line coming up where Leo says to, I think he says to Walker, "We're not demons. We're turtles, friend." The hell is that?
Cappuccino? What? Oh, God. Yeah, again, so many great lines.
But now we come to the undoing of Walker.
You mean great lines? Come on. Now.
Back to New York though, for a second, because Casey Jones at this point is like, all right, they're gonna probably come back soon. So we need to
Let's
start
leave the
gathering
bar.
up. Yeah, we gotta leave the
feel
bar.
that this scene especially was just kind of shoehorned in so they could fit in more music to put on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey.
Yes, that was featured heavily in the promotion of this movie. It was released as a single from the soundtrack for this movie. They're calling me about it right now to tell me all about it. Yes, I'm talking about Tarzan Boy. Leave me alone.
You somehow answered it before it stopped ringing.
No,
That was
I had call
impressive.
display and I was yelling at the call. I was yelling at the phone
Okay.
because I knew it was them calling me to say, "Make sure you mention our song because it hasn't been popular in 30 years."
Well, it's not going to be popular for the next 30 years
There
either.
you go. So, but yeah, they're in the bar and this song is playing on the jukebox.
Yeah. And then Casey Jones here, this is the only acknowledgement of the space-time continuum, because Casey Jones, they're playing on the arcade and stuff and they're dancing, and Casey Jones says, man, this might really mess up the past.
The one time they mention it through the entire movie.
The only person in the entire movie who is concerned with the fabric of time and space is a vigilante who wears a hockey mask and beats up people with a goalie stick.
Yep.
All right.
It makes perfect sense to me.
Casey fucking Jones is the voice of scientific reason.
That should be in every turtle movie ever. Casey Jones.
I want that on a t-shirt. Casey fucking Jones is the voice of reason and science.
I will say that if we ever start selling t-shirts, that's going to be the first one.
I'll take 2.
I know you will.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so he mentions that, and again, it's the only time it's ever mentioned. So, back in Japan, we get the final thing with Walker, and like we said, like
who is now absolutely can't go anywhere without his birds.
Forgets them twice.
Yes,
and goes back for them at the risk of peril.
Twice.
Yes.
Yeah, and that proves to be his undoing. Thankfully, so okay, here's the thing. So
murder.
He has a scepter. He has his scepter. He throws it in the air. There is a shitload of stuff that happens while it's in the air.
Yeah, he must have used all of his might to throw it up that high.
He's a Terminator. He has to be. Because it's in the air, and like he has like 3 lines. They go, whoa, for a while. Japan Jones runs over to his spot, and the scepter is still in the air.
Yep.
So Mikey catches it before it lands and smashes.
Almost falls off the roof.
Walker grabs his bird. Wait, that's
no, he doesn't grab the bird.
No, he tries to.
He tries to grab his bird, yeah.
He tries to grab his bird. And then Japan Jones decides to turn on him with a cannon that just happens to be loaded and pointed in the correct direction.
Yeah, at the pole.
At the pole. And Walker is thrown into the water. Amazing death scene, by the way.
Yes.
Oh, no. But here's the thing. If he would have just went down the damn rope the first time...
He'd been fine.
He would have been fine. But no, we came back up for that fucking bird and then went back down and... Yeah, no.
Again, not well established.
No.
No, it's absolutely convenient. If they had made a little more to do about him being so protective of his bird throughout the entire movie, where he just
I'm 10 years old.
Talks about his bird and that he loves his bird and he's constantly stroking his bird and
I'm glad you said that because I was going to go there. But yeah, no, they mentioned it once in the entire movie until the end when he goes back to rescue the damn birds twice.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, guys, remember this? Well, just pretend we talked about it earlier.
We do get a fantastic line from Donatello. Ugh, bungee jumping without a cord.
Yeah, Donatello makes light of the fact this guy just died.
Yep.
I know it's a villain, but still. I don't think they did that when, like, Shredder died in the first one. Spoiler
well,
alert
actually,
for
no.
One.
Yeah, they did.
Casey, whoops!
Oh, yeah.
Crushes
Right.
him
And then he
with
crushes them.
garbage can.
Garbage can!
I don't know. Let's not start talking about better movies during this movie.
I haven't listened to that podcast yet, but I'm excited to because I love that movie.
It's pretty great.
I love that movie.
Well, you must like the first one then, too, because it's basically both movies.
It's basically
It's the exact same
yeah.
movie, just a couple different things.
So the turtles are finally scot-free here. They've got their scepter, and they're ready to go
Walker's
back.
dead.
But Mikey, we didn't really talk about this too much, but Mikey kind of wants to get down with Mitsu,
Yes.
which is, again, disturbing.
Teenage.
Well, here's the thing. They are anthropomorphic. I mean, they are turtles, but they are, human, too.
To an extent.
Yeah, so, I mean, they have the legs and arms and movement. I'm guessing, because they have sentience, the thought processes of humans. So could it then be posited that he is stuck between two worlds, neither man nor turtle?
Yeah, but he's still a turtle.
So, needless to say,
Physically,
Bow Chicka Bow Wow.
right? But I think that if we try hard enough, guys, we can get into the philosophical areas of what it really means to be human, to be man, in regards to this movie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
Again, I just go back to Bow Chicka Bow Wow.
Okay, so Nathan, let's say that you are this Japanese woman.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Are you...
Named Mitsu.
Yeah, you're Mitsu, and this
Bye-bye,
giant
Cowboy.
mutant turtle is like, kind of want to hit that.
Well, I'm not talking about it from her perspective. I'm talking about it from Michelangelo's perspective, where he's neither turtle nor man. He is trans-species.
He's something.
This is unfortunate for everyone.
This is amazing. Come on.
I think we've brought up the idea of trans-species before, too. In another, I don't know what episode.
I think this is the third time in this one episode.
You know,
that
what
was
wouldn't surprise me?
interspecies.
Oh,
That was interspecies.
Right.
I was trans. We mentioned trans-species on something else. So I can't.
It's
remember what it
interspecies erotica, fucko.
Oh god.
Yeah, so he wants to stay. She's like, no, I've got like a human guy I want to bang.
was. Also, yeah, not too many, not into guys who fertilize eggs.
But
in
here's
nests.
the thing. He could
I
have
don't want to
stayed.
get warts.
If April took the scepter,
Yep.
he would have came back, but Mikey could have stayed there.
But
There just would have been a Japanese guy.
there would have
in
been
New
some
York.
random Japanese guy in New York.
Yeah.
That's actually right, because yeah, April is the one that switched with Kenshin.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
They would have
technically
just
he
been
could have
short
stayed.
one of those emperors or whatever.
Emperor
One of those
guards.
soldiers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't think anyone would have missed. They probably all thought they were dead anyways.
True.
I mean, we've already fucked with the space-time continuum at length. Well, who really cares?
Yeah.
Then they could have made the fourth one about the turtles going back to Japan to get Mikey out or something.
Actually, there was
Sure.
something like that in the TMNT, because then they go get Leo in the jungle or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that they didn't have to travel across space and time to do that.
It's similar. Anyways.
But everybody does get back.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah.
But not before a little tease first, though.
Right, because they don't think Mikey made it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
then
And he
go
didn't
ahead.
actually, because the Japanese guy runs away with the scepter, climbs up the ladder.
Yeah, but Mikey just happened to be holding it, so...
Yeah.
But I do have something to say about when they come back.
Okay.
The clothes. Because the turtles weren't wearing the uniforms, that's fine.
Right.
But one guy comes back in Mikey's shorts.
Yes.
And, oh my god, what is it,
Kenshin.
Kenshin? He comes back in his normal
Japanese
garb.
gear.
It's not cut.
I did not notice that.
It was not cut.
It was not
Yeah.
not trimmed
So
to
it
April
was
specifics.
So they must have filmed that scene, before she cut everything up. But yeah, he
It
comes
was
back in the shorts.
wildly inconsistent.
Oh my god, that's one word for it.
It would have been great if one of them, it doesn't matter what character, but they came back and they got their regular clothes back and they were like, it's kind of swampy in here. Might as well. I mean, we're cracking jokes about everything. Like, just,
Yeah.
Yep.
might as well give us a poopy underwear joke.
So it must have been from the first thing, because she came over with the Walkman. He must have been able to bring the shorts with him. Like,
Yeah, because
one person
the
can
shorts
bring
went
one
back.
extra
I guess.
thing,
It's non-organic material.
It would have been great if he went back to Japan with the jeans and the leather jacket. They were just like, demon!
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so Kenshin goes back to Japan and he makes out with Mitsu, and everything's all hunky-dory.
Daddy Dearest shows up. Make it awkward.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, so I'm guessing, like, in Japan, what they've done is, like, they've kind of united them, because Norinaga kind of falls to his knees and, like, bows. So I'm not really sure what happens.
I think he's seen the error of his ways.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
Because he's sort of the villain, but not really.
right. He's just been led astray
He's a
by
tweener
the
villain.
filthy Englishman.
He's a tweener. He is the
He's a
Scott
tweener.
Scott Levy of this movie. Wow. If anyone gets that's not into wrestling, I will be very surprised.
Tremendous.
So, yeah, they're back. The Turtles are back, and Mikey's very upset, but Splinter cheers him up by doing an Elvis Presley impression with the lampshade and also killing his credibility at the same time.
Which was what? The second or the third time that joke went on, that movie.
Oh,
What,
the
the
Elvis
Elvis-
thing?
The Elvis joke. It was
Oh.
because Mikey did it earlier.
Well, I think that's
Yeah.
why Splinter was doing it.
Okay.
It's
Well,
just,
yeah, but it's like, what was it? The second or the third?
it was I think that was the second Elvis one.
Okay.
Also, 1993, the kids love Elvis jokes.
Elvis, Blue Hawaii.
Yeah.
Like, all the kids were like, oh, that's my favorite movie. What a great reference to make for us. Very, very age appropriate. Yeah. Elvis in Blue Hawaii. Uh-huh. That's exactly what he says.
Oh, God.
So everything is good. Mikey's
We get some
back.
more line
And
dancing turtles.
Yeah, we get some line dancing just as we entered the film. That's how we leave the film.
Full circle.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
What Were They Thinking is brought to you by HostGator. HostGator is a leading provider of shared, reseller, VPS, and dedicated hosting solutions. Award-winning support is available 24/7, 365 days a year via phone, email, and live chat. Discover why over 9 million websites trust HostGator. Use the coupon code SCHLUCK for 25% off your first purchase. That's SCHLUCK, SCHLOCK, for 25% off your first purchase.
What Were They Thinking is brought to you today by GameItAll.com. Whether it's video game news, the latest in music, or movie reviews, GameItAll.com is your one-stop shop for all nerdy talk.
Oh man, all these wrestling news sites are terrible.
What's the matter, young lad?
Ah, Mother Superior! No, don't hit me!
Hey.
I can't find a good wrestling news site.
A good wrestling news site? What's so good about a good wrestling news site anyway?
Well, I just need a place where I can get all the backstage news and rumors and scoop.
All right.
Don't hit me! I left the orphanage a while ago.
All right, listen, Billy's younger brother. I'm not going to hit you this time.
Oh, thank you.
But I will tell you about a great wrestling news site.
Okay. It's not terrible like the last one, right?
It's not terrible like the last one. It's called WrestlingNewsWorld.com. You can get all the latest wrestling news, spoilers, results, all the news from all over the wrestling world.
That sounds great.
No, yes, but you know what?
What?
It's not going to sound great if you keep up with that mouth of yours.
Oh, okay. Yeah, again, I left the orphanage a while ago. If you don't leave, I'm gonna tell my parents.
I have legal precedent over 37 states. Get back here!
Oh! Stop hitting me! Ow!
WrestlingNewsWorld.com.
So the next movie, if they would have done one, probably just would have been one giant dance montage.
I hope so.
Hour and a half of just the turtles dancing. And Splinter with a lampshade on his head.
Oh, man. So, before we get into our poetry, Nathan.
Oh, hold on just a second.
What?
Oh, yes, the low haiku, but we'll get to that in a moment.
Okay.
Whilst watching the credits, or some of the credits anyways, I noticed that there was an actor or somebody involved, I think it was Michelangelo, named Robbie Wrist, for some reason, has their name registered as a trademark.
Yes!
The
With
little
R, right?
circle, yeah, exactly.
I didn't get that. So was he played by a product?
He must have been.
Maybe, I don't know, man.
Is Robbie Wrist like a doll?
Now in stores.
Robbie Wrist. Did he not understand and think that if he didn't register his name, people could just take it? I better copyright my name so no one else. Yeah,
I know who he is, right?
So strange too.
He's Cousin Oliver from the Brady Bunch.
Okay.
That's Robbie Wrist.
Well, there we go.
So
I can't say I'm super familiar with that show. I do know it's the story of a lovely lady
And a man named Brady. Right.
And I think they were raising some children.
Right.
And they might have had hair of gold like their mother. I think the youngest one was in curls.
Okay.
But anyway, we're gonna perform some poetry right now. It's time for a little low haiku.
Yes, the low haiku here on What Were They Thinking? It's a poetry corner moment for us here. It's one of our favorite parts. It's really quite exhilarating.
Yes, and Nathan, would you like to start or would you like to finish tonight?
I believe I will go second this time.
Very well. I just realized I asked you if you would like to finish tonight, and it sounded weird.
Kind of dirty, but it's NPR, so nobody ever notices that thing.
So here we go. Low haiku, 17 syllables. Turtles in Japan. Bad time travel science. Bestiality.
Okay.
And I don't care how controversial that is.
Can if you want.
Am I supposed to am I supposed to snap now?
What are we at a beatnik bar or something?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is, you know.
Poetry,
Well, it's a haiku, right?
Yeah, whatever. Instead of
Next up to the stage is Nathan with his low haiku.
Turtles, Shogun 3. Time travel is a bad mess. Casey Jones, best part.
You're not wrong.
No.
Casey Jones, not Japan Jones.
Right, Casey. Yes, modern Elias Koteas.
I wish I would have known about this because I would have came up with something.
Oh, it's all good. We don't put the onus on our guests to do this.
If you want to freestyle something right now,
No, I'm good.
it's 575. It's all it is.
I'm not that smart.
Okay.
I just want to say, okay, guys, before we get to the Rotten Tomatoes section of our podcast, Nathan
Don't take
alluded
our
to something
word
that
for
we... Nathan alluded to something we have to play for you all, and this is.
You want me to set this up, or do you want to just play it?
You know what? Yeah, just give us a little setup for this.
Okay, so at the peak of the popularity for the Ninja Turtles, there was a touring show called "Coming Out of Our Shells," which was a rock and roll extravaganza. And when I say that, I mean an absolute cash grab with people in turtle costumes pretending to play musical instruments to a backtrack. While this was happening, the Turtles appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show. And someone had mentioned something about the Turtles and how they feel towards April. And Michelangelo, again, the audience is filled with parents and their kids because the Ninja Turtles are going to be on Oprah. Michelangelo says, I've often broached the subject of a possible interspecies relationship with April.
Yeah. So, let's listen to the clip. It's, hearing is believing. Here we go.
Guys, let me ask you this. Do you sometimes wish that April was a turtle?
Whoa, definitely.
Conceptually, that works for me.
You know, I've been trying to...
Where you going?
Oprah.
Man, I cracked myself up.
Oprah, I've been trying to talk her into an interspecies relationships for months now.
Whoa, chill, man.
And she won't do it,
She
huh?
can't hold her breath.
No, she can't do it.
The biggest problem is she can't hold her breath long enough, you know?
She can't hold her breath long enough.
And you know what?
Yeah.
As fun as the audio is, if you get a chance, look it up on YouTube because they actually show the faces of some of the children in the audience while this whole exchange is happening. And I believe there's a couple who are just like, what is going on?
They look like they were... I can't even talk because I've got it paused right now and I can see their faces. And they look like their whole world has just come crashing down.
I don't think I've actually ever seen the clip of it, just the audio, so I'm going to have to go home and find it because that's just...
All you have to search is TMNT Oprah. It's like a 45-second clip and it's so glorious.
Yeah, you're gonna have to watch it.
The fun little thing is that whole coming out of their shells tour thing. The Shredder, of course, is the villain during the stage show, and he hates music so much so that he sings a song about how much he hates music.
Logic.
With choreography and backing tracks and
Logic.
everything. Yep.
It's all logic.
Oh man, as one would.
Right.
Yes. So, guys, definitely seek that out. But right now, I wanna let everyone know, don't take our word for it.
Don't take a word for it.
This movie, the on the tomatoes, it's not the worst movie we've reviewed, but it's definitely one of the ones where the critics and the audience are very much in line. 21% tomato meter with the critics and 33% audience score.
Yeah.
That seems generous to me.
33 is very generous.
So Nathan, I've already told Nathan. I'll tell you. I had an argument with my friend or with my coworker about how 3 was better than 2. Mm-hmm. What do you think about that? Because we had an argument for about 15 minutes.
I would have to say I would rather watch number 2 more. However, I will say 3 has it over 2 in the fact that the turtles were allowed to use their weapons.
Yeah, at least they're not hitting each other with coal cuts.
Right. If the turtles had been allowed to use their weapons in number 2, it would be the superior movie, 100%, no questions asked. However, the inclusion of Vanilla Ice makes it the better movie.
Thank you. If Vanilla Ice was in 3, I would have been fine.
Okay.
You know what? I don't really care for either that much. I'm going to be honest with you.
Well, I know, but it's like we're... You have to debate, Brendan. What's worse? A turd sandwich or a turd taco? I mean,
if I had to choose, I would say this one is worse because I will say This is one of the few movies I watched for this podcast. I was like consistently annoyed, ugh,
yes,
the whole time.
Oh yeah,
from minute 1 to minute whatever felt like 190.
Yeah, because what did I say to you last night? It hurt me to watch this movie. That's what I messaged Nathan last night. It hurt me.
Yeah, and it does. I would say it hasn't held up well over time, but as a kid, it didn't hold up well for me to begin with.
No, it hasn't gotten any better or any worse. It's still at that same level.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into these reviews. So, like you said, 21% critics, 33% audience. So here's the first one. This is my favorite one because it's just very blatant and to the point. It's from Stephen Hunter of the Baltimore Sun. Really stupid.
All right. Curt and to the point. Well, John Hurtle from the Seattle Times has one here that says, less amateurish than the 1990s original, less embarrassing than its 1991 sequel, false, with its mind-boggling Vanilla Ice ninja rap number, best part of the movie. This may be the easiest installment in the series for parents to sit through. I doubt that.
I disagree strongly with that.
Yes, because even though my dad was like, all right, I gotta take you guys to the movies because you can't go on your own when the first one came out, he legitimately enjoyed the first Ninja Turtles movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was well made.
It was.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've seen it.
You need to watch it.
You do.
My God.
What were you
I
thinking?
feel like even though you guys are saying it's well made, I still feel like any of the 3 of those movies we could still easily do on this show. You know what I mean?
I know, because honestly, we could definitely do the second one.
Yeah,
100%.
Reviews,
yeah.
Except for Vanilla Ice, can't mention him.
But the
yeah, let's not talk about the biggest part of the movie.
The first one is so good. I remember being as a kid, I saw the movie in theaters and I was like, this is so different than the show because I was all about the cartoon. But I think I was 10 or 11 at the time, and of course, because the movie came out, a bunch of the books and stuff got reissued as collections.
Yeah.
So I bought one of the collections, and I'm reading it. And I'm like, oh, that was in the movie. That was in the movie too. Oh, this is really good.
You would enjoy the first one.
You would.
I would hope so. Anyways.
Really, really would.
Because if not, I'd have to smack you the next time I see you.
Yes.
Oh, that's fair. This one's from Leonard Clady or Clady, I don't know how you pronounce it, but from Variety. He says, a decided case of diminishing returns. That's understatement of the year.
Mm-hmm. People Magazine said the comic book and animated incarnations of the Turtles remain far funnier and more inventive.
Oh, that's a positive review?
No, it's a negative one.
Oh okay.
Are there any positive reviews?
I have a positive review for you.
Okay.
Wow.
This is from Janet Maslin of the New York Times, which this is kind of crazy because she's usually, and now you might say, oh, who the hell's Janet Maslin? I see her name all the time when, on Rotten Tomatoes, she's usually one of the top critics, and she's pretty harsh on most movies, so this is crazy. It's a positive review. It's not glowing, but she says, the Turtles themselves are better natured than ever, and even nicely mellowed. What? They're mellowed?
I think she's drunk.
I think that she is, at the time, was probably a parent who didn't get this whole ninja fighting thing. Why does everything have to be so violent?
Or someone, paid her off.
I would argue they're the least mellow in this movie.
No. You need to see the first one,
You
Brendan.
really do.
No, but I'm talking
there is
about
a very hard edge in that first movie.
I'm not talking about that though. I'm saying like they're obnoxious in this movie.
Oh no, I don't think that's. I don't feel that that's what she's getting at. It's not the obnoxiousness of their delivery and how ham-fisted everything is. I think she's talking about how angry the turtles are, because Raph is like hardcore pissed off in that first movie.
Yeah.
Like,
okay,
yeah. But I do have a positive one here. This is from Apollo Guide. Kurt, I will not pronounce his last name because I will murder it. Achieves a degree of grace, goofiness, and agreeability that can often be lost in the serious drudgery of everyday life.
I hate him.
Don't know who you are, but I hate you.
Pretty much.
So that was Turtles 3. Before we go any further, I want to thank Dame Malcolm Wallace.
So nice for you to take time out of your royal schedule to be here.
I hate you guys.
No,
it's been fun.
I understand you turned down an afternoon with Sir Ian McKellen, so that's very nice of you.
Jeez.
And yeah. What?
What was that?
Oh, my phone's going off here.
I was hearing things.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I guess we'll before we plug our stuff. Actually, Malco, do you have anything you want to plug?
Like what?
Like your radio show?
Oh,
Your
yeah.
radio show
Probably
that you
plug
are co-host of?
Well, yeah, co-host of Rope to Rope, which is an online radio show about wrestling, independent wrestlers, professional wrestlers, pay-per-views, although don't compare to some people's videos. Yeah, we're on Twitter at Rope to Rope, Facebook Rope to Rope. That's about it.
Where can people listen to your show?
Ropetorope.net and local 107.3 FM, although we are on a break until March at the moment.
Okay.
You guys playing like retro?
I don't know what they're doing, honestly.
Do you have an archive on your website?
On our website, I believe, is the archive, but I'm in the process of archiving all 400 episodes to YouTube.
Okay.
Excellent.
God, that's a lot of work.
So we'll talk about our next movie, a little Hinsky.
Well, can I plug?
Well, let me give the Hinsky first, and then we'll plug.
Okay, fine.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
So here's your hint. The next movie we'll be covering, I will say, Walker in a half shirt. That's
what?
It. Walker in a half shirt.
Walker in a half shirt?
Yep.
It's probably that Chuck Norris Beach Bunny movie that everybody's talking about.
Yeah, you got it. Chuck Norris and the Beach Bunnies. Playboy Party with Chuck Norris. That's the next one.
It's so much sex and violence and manliness.
And running Texas as its own separate entity.
Right.
Yeah, so that's your clue, guys. Walker in a half shirt. All right, go ahead.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Well, he wouldn't be here today to do this because apparently he got into some sort of Twitter war with you, Brendan.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But Montrose Monkington III has sent along to me to say to check out his Facebook page, Montrose Monkington III Esquire and Friends. You can also check out Montrose Monkington TV on YouTube. The Christmas special. You know what? Christmas is past, but Little Christmas is coming up, so you're still the right time to watch the Christmas special. There was also a video that dropped where he had a new friend, Shelly, who told him all about Minecraft. And then you can also follow him on Twitter at Montrose the Third, number 3 RD. On Twitter. So yeah, Montrose Monkington III, our British monkey pal who is currently fighting with myself and apparently Brendan. He was only nice enough to send copy. Thank you. More later.
I love that guy.
It's a great... Yeah. Here's the thing. I find him entertaining. However, as a person, interacting with him, he can be quite rude.
Not to me.
Well...
I have nothing but,
It's because you're always making out with him.
Yeah, that might be it.
I'll plead the fifth on this one, guys. My lawyer says it's better if I don't discuss it.
Okay.
You know what? Before I plug, I just want to mention, like, I just saw something right now, and it made me it gave me a good internal laugh. When we were looking at the Rotten Tomatoes thing. Mm-hmm. You know how Rotten Tomatoes says people who like this movie also liked these movies?
Right.
Oh god. Did you know the ones that are up there? I want to read a few of them. It says people who liked Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 might also like McHale's Navy, Super Mario Brothers.
Oh my god.
Blues Brothers 2000, Major League Back to the Minors, Krippendorf's Tribe.
Oh my god.
And I Spy.
Okay, I love all those movies except for the last two. So yeah.
Basically, any of those could be on our show.
Yes, any of them could be.
I do enjoy McHale's Navy for the sole fact Bruce Campbell's in it.
Wait a second, Blues Brothers 2000 you're on board for?
Oh yeah. I have a terrible
taste in movies.
Terrible taste in movies. Yeah.
So you can follow us on Twitter at WWTT Podcast. We're also on Facebook, of course. Just look up What Were They Thinking. We're on all the podcatchers, obviously. Podbean, Google Play, Stitcher, iTunes, YouTube, Pocket Casts, Al Jazeera Network.
Human Centipod.
I always forget that one. It's weird that they're willing to carry all our other episodes too, not just about Human Centipede.
It's not even that. It's the nice thing about the Human Centipod one is that it chains all of our episodes together, so you just watch them from Kisser to Keister the entire way through.
Oh man,
I don't think we could have came up with that any better.
Oh, Kisser to Keister might be our first shirt, actually. No illustrations on that one though. Yeah, so that's our stuff. Again, I'm gonna thank Dame Malcolm Wallace again. Thank you for joining us.
No, thank you. This has been quite the experience.
Yeah, I'm glad you were able to watch Turtles 3 again. Having said that, I do have some questions for you, Nathan.
Do you now?
I do.
Okay.
In a movie where they decided that despite it not actually saving money, they went in a different direction than Jim Henson for the costumes.
Right.
In a movie where everyone in feudal Japan, every Japanese person in feudal Japan speaks in English to each other.
Mm-hmm.
In a
they
movie,
were trading with the English at the time, so don't forget.
Right, but to each other.
Right.
In a movie where Michelangelo thinks that Stuart Wilson looks like Clint Eastwood. In a movie where turtle boners are referenced. And in a movie that just hurt so much.
Right.
I just have to ask.
What's that, Brendan?
What were they thinking?
It's time, let's check our cue, baby. Pair it with a couple brews, baby. We love good movies. We love the bad ones too. So we watch them all and pass their lessons on to you. Oh yeah. Everything I learned from movies helps to make life a little bit groovy. Whether one last plot holes or gratuitous movies, it's time to get busy with your friend Steve and Izzy. At eilfm.podbean.com.
Hi, I'm Ellen, and I'm scared we exist in the Matrix.
I'm Jaslyn, and I'm bad at ad-libbing.
And you're listening to High Expectations, the promo. For our international listeners, you can appreciate our cute New Zealand accents. For our local listeners, you might bump into us in the street 3 times in the same hour. Our podcast is about pop culture,
sexuality,
relationships,
interesting hobbies,
banter, and ragging on each other.
You can find us on
Apple Podcasts,
SoundCloud,
Pocket Casts,
Podcast Addict,
or anywhere you might like to find podcasts.
Yay, please subscribe.
Goodbye.
Hey, do you like movies?
Hey, do you like podcasts?
If you do, then come on down and listen to the Home Video Hustle podcast, homie.
Hustle.
Every Friday, we talk about whatever movie PJ picks out the bag. What does that mean? Well, every Wednesday on our YouTube page, I pick a bunch of movies at random. Sometimes there's a theme to it, sometimes not. PJ picks the movie out, and guess what? We watch it on Friday. We talk about it for about maybe an hour and a half, whatever we feel like doing. Might give you something good to watch, baby. Come on down every Friday.
So come get your hustle on with Home Video Hustle.
You can find the show on any podcatcher app, or you can come down to homevideohustle.podbean.com. All of them in one place for you, so you can go ahead and binge it like it's Netflix. We ain't the Defenders, but I like to think we a little bit better than that. Come holler at your boys, man. Come chill with us. Peace.
Hi, I'm Phil.
Whoa! Did someone just sign off of AOL?
I'm Paul.
I really don't have a lot on this.
Oh my god, this is rolling off the rails real quick. And I'm Dennis. I am so mixed up today, just don't even listen to me anymore.
And together we are...
Voltron! Well, no, not Voltron. We are Useless Debates in Pop Culture, a weekly...
Or we at least try to be.
...podcast that allows you to pick the winner.
Ding.
By no means
the
a lamb.
internet strikes again.
Yeah, for sure. We'll debate anything.
So if you want to hear debates on such useless topics as Best Val Kilmer Role...
Tombstone! Or Best Movie Soundtrack...
American Graffiti, or the most successful former boy band member...
JT.
Then tune into our show.
Your podcast is so well named.
You can find us on Apple Podcasts /iTunes,
Podbean, and Google Play.
And our website, uselessdebate.com.
All right, there we go. Thank God.